Nobody move and nobody gets hurt. This is a stick up by Jerry and Adrian, the Legalized Robbery podcast.
Next thing that we wanted to talk about was the metaverse. And, like I said earlier, we talked about the metaverse in our podcast about Solana. Was it the fourth or fifth podcast or something?
Probably.
About the metaverse. And in that discussion, we only mentioned Facebook sort of on the side, and it was on it was because I read some article that Facebook was sort of undercover employing 10,000 people to work on VR, which was 1/5 of their company at that point. And I think at this point, is it almost half of the company that's working on the metaverse or more?
Yeah, I've seen numbers like that, I think.
Yeah. So
and also they were initially rumored also to invest like some hard money, and I think the rumors were initially like 2 or 5 billion, and then they said 10, and now I think it's 20, and I was like, those are some big numbers. Like
yeah. And so just for anybody that's sort of interested in what we were talking about, we really just summed up a few metaverse projects that we thought were interesting. At that point, we didn't know that Facebook was that deep into it, and then eventually would change their name and their entire sort of direction of the company. We were talking about NVIDIA and their Omniverse, which is like a platform they give different companies to be able to create virtual environments to sort of test run things. Sort of architects can use those environments to look at or create architecture before they then build it, which is really cool. And NVIDIA has, I think it's been tested by 400 companies around the world, but this is a very business-to-business product. It's called NVIDIA Omniverse. We talked about a bunch of other projects online. I think there's Upland, where they're selling digital land that is relating to sort of real life land ownership and stuff like that. There's Decentraland that allows you to do all kinds of stuff, really hold like auctions, have like galleries that you can virtually walk through and so forth. Decentraland also went up quite a bit. I think it's correct now. So there's loads of metaverse projects, and Facebook just being one of them. And to look at that, I didn't look at the entire presentation. I just looked at a bit of it, and I'm just surprised that a company as big as that sort of took such a hard left on their direction, and pretty much all in now, because this is, they changed their entire name to Meta and stuff like that. So yes, it's pretty exciting, because what this means for the entire category of the metaverse is huge. And now there's sort of stories of Nike putting in 7 patents for metaverse related products. Microsoft is looking to release theirs in 2022. And there's a lot of things bubbling up. So I think, just like we said in the podcast, this might really be the future. And it will be one where there's many different metaverses. And it's exciting to see. What do you think?
I basically have the same opinion I had then, which is, well, not surprising. The trick is making them interconnected, like having your own ecosystem. I mean, it's not that it's not going to work, but basically you're going to end up with an Apple or Microsoft situation where you have basically organizations or groups of people who have, let's say, an iOS hub, a Microsoft hub, Google hub, and that's it. So, and they don't connect. And like I told you, dude, trying to conceptualize what connecting metaverses would be is absolutely insane, because the complexity is off the chains. So that's the problem for me. Like, I'm I hope it won't be like a niche thing where each company builds their own. That's why from that perspective, I think I'm a bit more bullish or optimistic on a blockchain solution, or a smart, who knows, maybe a smart contract chain specifically for Metaverse will emerge or something like that. Like you need a common set of rails in order to build an actual metaverse, not basically a collection of metaverses which are unconnected. But yeah, so what I will say is this is definitely in its infancy. Of course, companies are saying, "Oh, we're gonna make our own. We're gonna do this and that." But basically, the same thing they did. They said the same thing about, for example, AR goggles. They said the same thing about Internet of Things. They said the same thing about artificial intelligence. They said a lot of technologies came and went, and it's not like they went extinct or disappeared or people aren't using them or still there aren't projects trying to be built on them. It's just that right now it's super hyped and everybody's claiming that they're gonna make a metaverse. Okay, we'll wait and we'll see in 5 years who actually has a metaverse which has any functionality and they didn't drop the support for it. For example, like I don't think I mentioned on the podcast, but one of the most interesting things for me was gaming platforms like Google Stadia or GeForce Now. The thing is, I can't say I'm a gamer anymore, but I would game every once in a while. But I don't want to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars in building a PC just so that I can game a few hours a day. So a few hours a week, sorry. So from that perspective, I stream gaming was like a dream come true for me. The problem is there were so many companies who said they were going to do it, but Google Stadia basically stopped. GeForce Now is still going, and they might be the winner, but I'm sure it's a major, major losing part of the business right now. So
Right.
basically, they have to use other parts of the company just to fund it. And yeah, it's a high risk, high reward play. Like if you do it and you become the dominant force in stream gaming, okay, then you make money. If it just goes away, you obviously lost a lot of money. So from that perspective, I kind of get the same vibe with Metaverse. It's like it's super early. It might be a big, 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 big thing, but we'll just need to see that companies invest in it and basically there's public adoption. Because even like you said with the VR goggles, I haven't got a pair of VR goggles now. I'm planning to buy it, right? So that I can play some shit. But even VR goggles, they didn't get a lot of traction. Like
No.
this, they're expensive. You need a PC or a console to run them. Not everybody can afford both of those. So again, adoption is maybe a bit further than we expect. Again, this is not just being bearish. I'm just being realistic. I'm not gonna get enthusiastic about a thing where 98% of the planet can't access it yet, and that's the truth,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and we'll see. Like at this point, even with Facebook, I'm like, what are you gonna do exactly? Because you cannot. It's not like you can afford to send people VR goggles to their house, log into Facebook using this. No, you won't be able to do that. So either gonna start mass producing some affordable VR goggles, and if you are, good for you. But as most people know, hardware manufacturing isn't the most profitable shit in the world, right? It's actually quite money losing. It's interesting. I'm curious where it's going, but I'm not super excited yet because I don't know where it's going. So
Yeah, I agree. I'm a bit bearish on the idea that that a metaverse will be via VR goggles, because obviously the difference between VR and, for example, AR is that VR is fully immersive. So and AR is kind of in your, or sort of merging in with reality. The problem I have with VR is that if you look at the average usage of a VR set, it is once, actually.
what? How?
The average usage of a VR set is once.
Like people buy it and only use it once?
Yes.
Fuck. Well, that sucks. Yeah.
So for them to think that this will, I mean, and VR has been so long, has been praised as the thing coming, even VR porn. um, people thought that obviously you wear these things and you can see like the actual, you know what I mean? But it's still,
Yeah.
you know, even that, even something as addictive as porn or whatever, didn't really catch on with VR for some reason.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's been hyped for a long time, and it hasn't shown the results like you said. And to expect, like again, like you said, 95% of the population that cannot afford a VR set, or even a PC or whatever. Like, what
Sure.
are they gonna do?
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit bearish on thinking that a VR metaverse is the way to go. I think AR makes so much more sense, um, even in terms of cost. Like what I think, and I think Facebook is getting into AR as well because they did a partnership with Ray Ban, and they
Yeah.
have these
True.
glasses. They have these glasses that you can wear, and I think if you can make those glasses work, I think that's actually so much cooler because walking down the street and then getting all of the information of this particular street where something is, to me that is really like being in the future. Wearing a
Hmm.
VR set and looking at stupid icons of myself and other people and childlike, you know, like graphics and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
silly. To be really honest with you. So I'm bearish on that, but that's just me. You know what I mean? I don't know what the next guy thinks. Maybe they think is the greatest thing ever. At least, and in my friend circle, I don't see anybody that's like hailing this as a huge a huge win or a huge thing in the future. In fact, they're very bearish on it. But like many technologies, we've been wrong on
Yeah.
what they
And
could do.
like you said, the move is very ballsy. So my gut feeling is Mark has something up his sleeve, or he wouldn't have pivoted as that. I think also what people are, I think maybe misunderstanding, or maybe I'm misunderstanding, is that he did this for multiple reasons. Like Facebook was under fire. Facebook had a lot
Incredibly.
of negative PR for a fucking good reason.
They had to
And
change the narrative, yeah, on
they kind of
themselves.
had to change, yeah, the name, the direction. They had to change something because at this point they were just continuously being attacked. But it doesn't make the case better. Like if, for example, if Twitter was announcing a metaverse, I would be much more on board than Facebook. If Google was announcing a metaverse, I would be on board. But if Facebook is announcing a metaverse, I'm like, okay, and you're gonna know what? Like what I'm seeing all the time? No, thanks. It's fine. Like I've been on Facebook. I know what you do. Like why would I want that? So
Yeah.
yeah, no thanks, Mark. I'm on.
Nobody move and nobody gets hurt. This is a stick up by Jerry and Adrian, the Legalized Robbery podcast.